All right. So, really, how do you value yourself? And I'm talking about from a perspective of being over 40, and that's how I am because I'm a over 40. I'm in an over 40 crowd. But like, have you ever really just kind of sit with yourself and no distractions, like nothing, like no phone, no TV, just you and your thoughts, and ask yourself like a simple that question, that simple question: Do I truly value myself? And it's not really what you say out loud, not what people think about you, and not how you show up in public, but like in real life. How do you value yourself in your quiet moments, like in your decisions, um, in those things that you tolerate, in what you pretty much allow? Because if I'm being honest, this is something I had to check myself on. Because I figured, like, at this stage in my life, being over 40, like midway through 40, because I'm almost 45, you would think this is something that I would already figured out, right? Like, we've lived, we've experienced some things, we've been through enough to know better. But the thing is, knowing better and living better, two completely different things. And I realized something about myself that I didn't like at first, that I lacked value, that I got used to being everything for everybody else, right? Um, I became the dependable one, the strong one, the one who people call, the one who figures it all out, the one who holds it all together. And again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but somewhere in all of that, you stop asking yourself, but where do I fit into my own life? Because when was the last time you actually chose yourself and you chose yourself without guilt? And I'm not talking about after you made everyone sure that everyone else was okay, or not after you handled everything, or not when it was finally convenient, but really just because you wanted to. And that's the part that can get real quiet. And I think what happens over time is that we don't make one big decision to stop valuing ourselves. I think it's just a lot of small ones. You know what I'm saying? It's saying yes when you really just want to say no. And it's staying when you know you feel really should have left. Like, yeah, yeah. And it's shrinking just to keep things from getting uncomfortable. It's convincing yourself, like, oh, no, this is fine. When you know deep down inside, it's not. And then over time, it's like you learn how to function in it, right? And I feel like that's the scary part. And because that's when we learn how to smile through it. We learn to show up anyway, and we learn how to keep everything moving while slowly disconnecting from yourself. And the thing is, no one really notices because, on the outside, you look like you got it all together. But inside, it's like you feel it, right? And see, this is where I feel like it gets real because a lot of us, we don't question our value out loud, but our decisions tells the truth every time. It's who you keep around, what you accept, what you ignore, what you keep going back to. And then that's where I feel like self-value shows up too. Because valuing yourself isn't what you say, it really is what you allow. And really, that mess hits because it's like I had to ask myself, what am I allowing that does not match what I say I deserve? So what are you allowing that doesn't match what you say you deserve? And if you're being honest, there may be like a few things that actually come to mind because I know there's a few things that's actually on my mind right now. And I ain't saying all that to say beat yourself up about it because life, I mean, shoot, life happens. But we all adjust, right? We all go through the seasons. We all make decisions based off of survival sometimes. But there comes a point where survival just isn't the goal anymore. Like, you don't want to just keep surviving. Peace is the goal. Alignment is the goal. Freedom is the goal. Cause that's what happens when you realize like all I'm doing is surviving. Now you're just trying to feel peace, and that requires a different version of you. Because the truth, sometimes it's not that you don't know your worth, is that you got comfortable negotiating your worth. And we got comfortable negotiating in what? Relationships, in friendships, in environments, and even how you treat yourself. And here is something else I had to accept, right? People will benefit from the version of you that doesn't fully value yourself, and they will never tell you to change. And the thing is, it's not because they're bad people, but because it works for them, because you're beneficial to them in certain aspects of their lives. So if anything is going to shift, actually, I mean, it has to start with you. Is you recognizing it? Is you deciding this doesn't feel right anymore? Is choosing different even when it is uncomfortable? And so I'm not saying that you got to become hard or selfish or cut everybody off. Like, no, like, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that you start including yourself in the life you've been building for everybody else. You doing it for everybody else. Hey, it's time for you to include yourself in that same life. And that may look like saying no without feeling like you owe a long explanation. Because, hey, they say no is a complete sentence. It looks like walking away without needing closure from people who are never going to give it. They ain't going to give it to you anyway. And sometimes it look like choosing peace even if no one understands your decision. And look like doing things, look, just because you want to do them and not because it makes sense to everybody else. Because at this stage in life, you're not starting over. We're waking up. You're becoming more aware. You're just becoming more honest. And you're becoming more intentional about how you live and also who you allow to have access to you. And that's what we call growth. So no, you do not have to ask permission to be valid. You don't need to prove your worth. And you don't need to explain why you deserve better. But today, right now, you just need to decide that you do and start moving like you believe it. Because at the end of the day, the real question isn't, do I know my worth? It's, am I living like I do? And I'll see you in the next one.